Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel, and I want you to stop whatever you are doing right now because today we are talking about something that just happened literally hours ago and the internet is already in full meltdown mode over it. March 31st, 2026. BTS released a new live performance video of Swim, and it features all 7 members in crisp tailored suits performing their comeback single by an indoor swimming pool. And within all of that, the suits, the pool, the chaos, the members jumping into the water at the end, there is a specific moment involving Jungkook that has already traveled further and faster than almost anything else from this entire comeback cycle. Because the clip of Jungkook singing Swim live in this video is people saying something that you do not say lightly about any song, that the live version is better than what was recorded in the studio. And today we are going to talk about everything. The swimming pool video, the documentary clip that started this conversation, the Jungkook solo swim moment that has sent the entire internet into a spiral, and why this specific moment is so significant in the broader story of who Jungkook is as a vocalist. So let's get into it. First, let me give you the full picture of what dropped today, because there are actually multiple layers to this story and they all connect in a way that makes the whole thing more powerful when you understand how they fit together. BTS released the Swim Live Clip 2 swimming pool version on March 31st, featuring all 7 members dressed in sleek, tailored suits performing Swim by an indoor pool. RM sings portions of the track from a lifeguard chair, Jim and V look stylish wearing duck-shaped children's pool floaties, and Suga passes out flotation devices to patrons going for swims. At the end, the Bangtan boys run toward the pool as if to jump in together, although viewers never actually see them hit the water. Now, before we get to this serious vocal conversation, I need to take a moment to appreciate the complete and utter commitment to chaos that this video represents. 7 of the most famous people on the planet, who just released the #1 album in the United States, who just performed in front of 250,000 people at Gwangwonmun, who just did 2 nights on The Tonight Show, and they are standing by a swimming pool in designer suits wearing duck floaties. That is BTS. That is who they are. And the joy of that image is the perfect container for the moment that everybody is actually talking about, the moment when Jungkook opens his mouth. The swimming pool version of Swim was released one day after Billboard announced that the single had debuted at the top of the Hot 100, marking BTS's 7th #1 hit on the chart. Arirang also opened at #1 on the Billboard 200, opening with 641,000 equivalent album units, notching the band's 7th chart-topping LP in the United States. 7th #1 single. 7th #1 album. In the United States. From a Korean group. Those numbers are so historically significant that they barely feel real when you type them out. But the timing of this swimming pool video dropping the day after those Billboard announcements tells you something about the energy BTS is operating with right now. They reached the top of the biggest charts in the world and then immediately released a video where they wear duck floaties and run toward a swimming pool in suits. That is not an accident. That is a choice. That is a group that is so comfortable with who they are and so secure in what they have built that they can celebrate a Billboard #1 by being completely, joyfully ridiculous. And that confidence, that ease, that complete absence of pretension, it is also part of what makes what Jungkook does vocally in this era so extraordinary. Because he brings the same authenticity to his singing that BTS collectively brings to their whole identity. Now let me take you back 4 days, to March 27th, because that is where the Jungkook vocal conversation actually started. The Netflix documentary BTS, The Return, released on March 27, 2026, concludes with a studio live performance of the album's title track Swim. It features the members performing the song in a studio setting, highlighting their live vocals. Following the release, clips from the performance circulated widely on social media platforms, specifically Jungkook's solo part in the song. And when I say circulated widely, I mean the clips traveled with a speed and reach that even by the standards of BTS content in 2026 was notable. Because there is something in what Jungkook delivered in that studio live performance that hit people differently from anything else in the documentary. Something that stopped fans mid-scroll and made them click replay before the clip had even finished. A short clip of Jungkook singing Swim live went viral this week, as fans praised his vocal skills and tone. The clip was from Netflix's documentary covering BTS's recent comeback, and showed Jungkook recording a verse for Swim. Though the clip of Jungkook's live singing was only 11 seconds long, it quickly drew the attention of hundreds of thousands of fans, with many demanding a full Jungkook solo version of BTS's recent title track Swim. 11 seconds. The clip was 11 seconds long. And it generated hundreds of thousands of reactions and a global demand for a full solo version. That is the specific power of what Jungkook did in those 11 seconds. Not a 3-minute performance. Not a concert moment with staging and lighting and choreography. 11 seconds of him singing in a studio setting, and the response was immediate and overwhelming. Now let me tell you what people actually said about those 11 seconds, because the fan reactions to this clip are some of the most articulate and specific vocal critiques you will ever see from a non-professional audience, and they tell you exactly what Jungkook did that made this moment so impactful. Fan and listener reactions included, listening to him sing is just pure comfort for the ears. It's so much better. I'd love to hear Jungkook sing the whole song solo. The live version is way better, the song sounds way better than the studio recording. The original had a rather mellow vibe, but this version feels much more hopeful. The studio version, with the vocals all mashed together by autotune, felt so stifling. I couldn't understand why they drowned it in autotune like that. Watching this clip of Jungkook is such a breath of fresh air. He's genuinely so talented. The original felt kind of gloomy and heavy, whereas this one feels like pushing through and overcoming things. Read those reactions carefully, because they are saying something very specific that goes beyond just his voice is nice. They are describing a qualitative difference in emotional experience between the studio version of Swim and Jungkook's live vocal performance of the same song. They are saying that his live voice changed the feeling of the song. That it made the mellow feel hopeful. That it made the heavy feel like forward motion. That is not a minor thing. That is the description of a vocalist who has the ability to reinterpret a piece of music through the specific quality of their voice and delivery, to add emotional dimensions that the production arrangement alone does not fully capture. And that ability, to make a song feel different and feel more through the act of singing it, is the mark of a genuinely exceptional vocal artist. Many fans also referenced the autotune debate in the context of this live clip, with one comment reading, "The studio version completely killed the vocalist's charm. The mixing always feels so overdone." Honestly, in the studio version, it felt like all their voices were smashed together. And another, it really is a crime to even dare to add any autotune over his voice. This is how the real singer sings. Jungkook is godly tier vocal. Now, the autotune conversation around the studio version of Swim is one that has been running since the album dropped, and it touches on a broader discussion about modern K-pop production aesthetics that is worth taking seriously. Because Swim, as a studio recording, uses the kind of processed, layered vocal production that is standard in contemporary pop music globally, not just in K-pop. The vocals are blended and treated in a way that creates a specific sonic texture. And that texture works for the song as a piece of production. But what the live clip of Jungkook revealed is that the raw material underneath that production, his actual voice, unprocessed, singing the song in a room, contains an emotional directness that the studio treatment softens. Producer Diplo specifically pointed to Jungkook's vocals, reflecting on the studio experience and remarking, "Jungkook, no autotune. Jungkook. No autotune. Perfect voice." This statement, which circulated everywhere when it was first made, now reads differently in the context of the live clip conversation. Because Diplo was saying something in that quote that the fans who watched the 11-second clip were then independently discovering for themselves. That Jungkook's voice, in its natural state, without any processing, is not just good, it is perfect. It does not need the tools that most modern vocal production relies on. And the live clip proved that in real time, in front of hundreds of thousands of people who had only known the studio version and who were now hearing what the studio version was built on top of. Now let's connect this back to the swimming pool video that dropped today, because that video is the latest chapter in this ongoing story about Jungkook's live vocals and what they reveal about Swim as a song. In the swimming pool version of Swim, the members appear dressed in sleek suits as they perform Swim by a swimming pool, blending polished visuals with a lighthearted mood, showcasing their charming and mischievous sides throughout the clip. The video concludes with a fun twist as the members jump into the pool together, leaving a lasting impression of spontaneity and camaraderie. And within that lighthearted, joyful, duck floaty wearing context, Jungkook's vocal moments hit with the same quality that made the documentary clip go viral. Because it is not just the studio setting that unlocks what he can do. It is any live context. Put a microphone in front of Jungkook and give him swim to sing, and his voice is going to deliver something that the studio production, by its own nature, cannot fully contain. BTS also released a Keep Swimming remix album featuring 9 tracks including the original song and its instrumental version. Each member contributed a distinct remix version, and Jungkook's version strips the track down into a lo-fi acoustic arrangement with warm tones. The choice of lo-fi acoustic for Jungkook's personal remix of Swim is deeply revealing when you think about it in the context of everything we have been discussing. Because lo-fi acoustic is the production language that most closely resembles what his voice sounds like when you hear it raw and unprocessed in a live setting. It is the format that strips away the layers and lets the voice be what it is. And the fact that out of all the possible directions Jungkook could have taken his personal remix, he could have gone full electronic like V, he could have gone R&B like Jimin, he could have done virtually anything, he chose the format that most closely honors the natural quality of his own voice. That is an artist who knows exactly what he has. Who understands what his instrument sounds like at its most honest. And who chose to share that version of the song with the world. The original Swim live performance video was filmed at Sunhyeon, utilizing lighting effects to highlight the choreography and the traditional aesthetic of the location. The title track Swim held the #1 position on Spotify's Daily Top Songs Global for 8 consecutive days from March 20th to March 27th. 8 consecutive days at #1 globally on Spotify. From a song that people are saying sounds better live than in the studio. The popularity of the studio version and the reaction to the live version are not in conflict, they are complements. The studio version is what brought 641,000 equivalent album units in the first week, what put Swim at #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, what made it the most streamed K-pop album in Spotify history. But the live version is what makes people stop and say, wait. There is something here that is even bigger than what I was already experiencing. Fans hail Jungkook as the king of vocals following the viral clip, with international fans and K-netizens both contributing to the widespread praise. One comment read, "He's so incredibly good. I just keep listening to this on repeat." Another said, "This is way better. The studio version completely killed the vocalist's charm." And one fan wrote, "I really want to hear Swim from start to finish in Jungkook's voice only." That last comment, "I want to hear Swim from start to finish in Jungkook's voice only," is the clearest possible expression of what this viral moment means. It is a demand. Not just appreciation, not just praise, but an active desire for more of what he gave in those 11 seconds. A desire for the full experience of what his voice does to this song when nothing is standing between him and the microphone. And it is a demand that is coming not from pre-existing Jungkook fans, not from ARMY who were already going to love everything he does, but from people who heard 11 seconds of him singing a song they thought they already knew, and discovered they had never fully heard it before. And now here we are on March 31st, 2026. The swimming pool video is live. The members are in suits with duck floaties. Swim is #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. The Arirang World Tour starts in 9 days. The documentary is on Netflix. The remix album is out. And somewhere in the middle of all of this, an 11-second clip of Jungkook singing in a studio is the piece of content that has most moved people this week. Not the Gwangwamun concert with 260,000 people. Not the Netflix documentary that took months to film. 11 seconds. A voice. A song. No production, no staging, no spectacle. Just Jungkook singing Swim and meaning every single note of it. That is the story. That is the thing that all of the lights and all of the choreography and all of the Billboard numbers and all of the streaming records and all of the duck floaties in the world cannot replicate or replace. A voice that sounds better when it has nothing to hide behind. A singer who makes you want to hear the whole song again the moment he stops. A piece of music that becomes more fully itself when the right person sings it out loud in a room. Jungkook did not just perform Swim in that studio. He revealed what the song was always trying to be. Thank you so much for watching this all the way to the end. If this video made you go immediately look up the live clip, which I fully expect it did, please hit the like button because it helps this channel reach more people who need to know about this moment. Subscribe if you are not already here because we are 9 days away from the start of a world tour that is going to give us content like this every single week for the next 12 months. Hit the bell so you never miss anything. And drop a comment below which version of Swim hits you harder, the studio version or Jungkook's live clip? I want every single opinion. I will see you in the next one.